Welcome to Numbers Simplified. In this channel, we seek to simplify and solve numerical problems. We are currently on the Financial Mathematics playlist, and today we'll be looking at taxes and deductions. Take note, this is part 2. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of our future uploads, especially when it gets to advanced financial mathematics. One more thing, check out the other playlists that we have in mathematics if you are interested in them. Now let's move on. We'll start with the terminology. So, the first thing to take note of is gross income. This is the full amount earned by an individual for their services. The second thing is deductions. So these includes subtractions that have to be made on the gross income, including taxes. It could be income taxes. It could be any other kind of tax, contributions, health cover, etc. Then, of course, we've got the net income. With this, we're saying this is the balance that is left after the gross income has been deducted. So we have the formula net income is equal to gross income minus deductions. And of course, that's how people use these terms, gross income, net income. Let us look at the example for the day. Suppose the text table for workers is given to be the table that we have over here. Then we are going to have 3 questions. The first one is this. A. What tax is to be paid by a worker with a 40,000 taxable income? So the solution. The first thing that we note is the salary is within the 25% bracket. So the tax that's going to be paid is equal to the fixed amount plus the 25% of the amount over 34,000. Now, substituting for the fixed amount, the fixed amount paid in this tax bracket is $4,681.25. And also, the amount that exceeds the 34,000 will be obtained by subtracting the 34,000 from the 40,000 which the person is earning. Then we multiply that by the 25% to get the 25% of that because that is going to be taxed. Right, so of course, simplifying our work, we are going to get the difference between the 40,000 and the 34,000 to be 6,000. Now we go on to find the 25% of the 6,000. That is going to be 1,500. And of course, adding the fixed amount, we end up having $6,181.25. So that is the tax that has to be paid by the person who's earning this income. And take note, this is given for the purposes of an example. We are just making use of this kind of table. The tax values are always different from one nation to the other. So this does not imply that in your nation you are going to have such a tax table or such kind of tax. Please, this is just for the purpose of explaining and it serves as an example. Now, let's move on to the second part. What tax is to be paid by a worker with 250,000 taxable income? So, just as before, we see that the salary is within the 33% tax bracket. Therefore, the tax that is going to be paid is going to be a fixed amount plus 33% of the amount over $171,850. Then we are going to get the amount that exceeds that threshold. So we are going to subtract the 171,850,000 from the 250,000 so that we get 78,150. Then we find the 33% of that bit, which we are going to add to the fixed amount. So the 33% of that would be $25,789.50. Then we add it to the fixed amount of $41,827.25. So in total, we are going to get $67,616.75. That is the tax that has to be paid. Now let's move on to Part C. Part C is a little bit different. It goes like this. What is the salary given that it is in a 15% tax bracket and amounting to $4,081.25? So the solution: let the taxable income, which we do not know, be the X. So this is like introducing the algebra in the financial math. Then we know also that tax is given to be fixed amount plus the amount that exceeds $8,375 times 15%. This is coming from the 15% bracket threshold. So that is what we are making use of. So now, substituting for that fixed amount that we find in that bracket, we are going to have $837.50 plus the amount that exceeds the threshold that has been set for this tax bracket. So to get that, we are going to say the X, which we do not know, minus the $8,375 times 15% of that. And that should give us a total of $4,081.25. Now, of course, solving for X, we can actually start by moving the fixed amount to the other side. What we get is a $3,243.75. Now, we move on to move the 15% to the other side. So now, we know that 15% is 15 divided by 100, but when we take it to the other side, we are doing the reverse of that. So we are multiplying with 100 divided by 15 to the new amount. Now, once we get to that, we are going to move the amount that we were subtracting from the taxable income to the other side, so that we are going to get to that. But of course, it's worth noting that after we have multiplied by 100 divided by 15, we get $21,625. And of course, adding the amount that we were subtracting from the total taxable amount to the right-hand side, we are going to have the X becoming 30,000. Therefore, the taxable income is 30,000. If you have made it thus far, I say congratulations to ya, and I'll leave you with the following task. Make sure to post in your questions and your answers. We'll be glad to go over them. Thank you for watching Numbers Simplified. Subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of our future uploads. And remember, God loves you.